Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. All right, let's talk Saints. Sports Illustrated piece up. Marshawn Lattimore deal makes sense for Commanders and Saints. Albert Breer wrote it. And we hashed out the direction of the Saints franchise over the course of the hours that followed the trade. And you understand that I think it's the right thing to do. I think it was the right thing to fire Dennis Allen. I think it was the right thing to move on from Marshawn Lattimore. I think it's the right thing to recoup as many draft picks as you possibly can. All of that, to me, seemed like the right way to go, and something that we know the Saints have been very hesitant to do, and they have not done over the last 20 years. They have been, how do we make this team awesome right now for 2 decades? That's just the way they've done business. And so there are some that looked at this and said, well, they're probably just going to keep doing that. They're attached to Dennis Allen. They're attached to Mickey Loomis. They're attached to these salary cap issues. They're just going to keep going. And that just was not tenable. And it was evident to all of us on the outside. It was evidence to everybody in the fan base, and the fan base was really loud about it. I don't know if it was evident to Mickey Loomis or not. And in this piece by Albert Breer, he writes that he picked up a nugget digging around for the Saints information that the decision was driven by ownership, with Gayle Benson reaching a, quote, breaking point with the team's struggles. And as Breer writes here, Benson told Mickey Loomis, you will fire Dennis Allen on Monday. And he says that that was going to happen even if the Saints had beaten Carolina. He continues in this piece saying that Loomis did not want to pull the plug on Allen yet, but Benson and her group were hearing from the fan base in a way they had not heard from them before. Well, that's 2 things. One, good for Gayle Benson for stepping up and doing something she had not done. Keep in mind, Gayle Benson has never fired a coach that the Saints employed. And not so good on Mickey Loomis for feeling like they still needed to commit to things. I understand there's a really close relationship between Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen. They worked together for a very long time. Mickey Loomis inevitably gave Dennis Allen what will be his final chance to be a head coach. And there's a great relationship there, and that's a tough thing to do. But it was obvious that it needed to happen. And it sounds good to me that Gayle Benson knew that even if we beat this sorry Carolina team, the change needs to be made. And obviously, you lose to that sorry Carolina team, you got to make the change. And I'm disappointed to hear that Mickey Loomis didn't feel that that was necessary. Now, I doubt very seriously if Gayle Benson is telling Mickey Loomis to go get 4th and 5th round picks for Marshawn Lattimore. That's probably a bridge too far for her as far as the X and O's in football go in dealing with the roster assembly. That's Mickey Loomis. That's Dennis Lauscha. That's whoever the next head coach is going to be, and then to an extent, Kai Harley as well. So I think that he probably has gotten the memo that, hey, we're tearing this thing down. And I guess as I wrap this thing up full circle, it doesn't really matter how Mickey Loomis arrived at the determination. It just matters that he did. So as disappointed as I can be that he didn't understand that this is what needed to happen, allegedly, reportedly, it's a good thing that Gayle Benson walked down the hallway, knocked on the door and said, hey, Mick, this is it. We're done. And now you are in a situation where the Saints are going to move forward with rebuilding this roster, slow and steady, but rebuilding it. So we had a question, and now we have our answer. We had the question, how will Gayle Benson handle this? This is new under her leadership. We have never seen Gayle Benson respond to anything like this, and now we know, based on this report by Albert Breer, that she was comfortable going down there and making that determination, even if the Saints had won the game against the Panthers. So now it's time for Mickey Loomis to do something he has not done in 20 years, and that's completely retool this thing. He did it once. It was a long time ago, and he had what we can all determine was a stroke of pretty good fortune that Drew Brees got hurt, was dealt out of San Diego at the time, and then didn't pass his physical with Miami. That was the biggest in all of this. But now the Saints are going to be in a position where they've got to do something like that again. And I guess it doesn't matter how you arrive at that determination. It just matters that you arrive at that determination. This is very clearly a team in a locker room that completely fractured from Dennis Allen. You're now hearing stories that the locker room was aligned poorly based on some things that they did during COVID they never fixed, and now the position groups are together where they weren't previously, and that's not necessarily going to immediately mean they're going to score 7 more points on Sunday or allow 7 fewer points on Sunday. But it's just there are some things that were broken inside that culture. And some people love the word culture. Some people hate the word culture. But it's evident that the players didn't trust the coach. The coach wasn't getting to the players. The players weren't prepared and didn't have the proper environment to excel. And you've got to tear all that down. And I don't know how much of a positive impact that Rizzy can be in the locker room during his time as the interim, but he's going to try. And he's got the right demeanor for it. It's very Ed Ogeron-like in that way. It's a guy that wasn't necessarily a coordinator on offense or defense, but is a guy that has a good relationship with the players, is a guy that brings a lot of energy and passion every day, and is a guy that's going to put his pedal to the metal and do the best he can for this organization. Now, I'm looking at this if I'm a Saints fan, and I'm going, I kind of hope they lose the rest of their games. But you understand that they're going to play as hard as they can, and there are going to be plenty of Saints fans that want to watch their team win on Sunday. And we'll see if they can do that or not. But I'm thrilled that Gayle Benson did have the wherewithal to come down and put this thing into motion. And we're at the worst part of it now, the part where you're at the bottom of the mountain, but it's a slow and steady climb, and the Saints will now try to ascend that thanks to Gayle Benson and her assertiveness there. Disappointed Mickey didn't quite get it, but it is what it is. They'll start it now. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.